Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. It is Wednesday. I'm supposed to do a live stream. I decided I'm going to do a pre recorded video. And I'm doing this pre recorded video because what I'm seeing out here is a phenomenon that it's beginning to become more and more loud or popular by a small minority of people. And I'm talking about the trans people. Now, the problem I have with this woke culture is that it's very delusional. And what I'm going to show you is a video of a trans woman. Now, in my humble opinion, her name is Sam. Sam stands for surgically altered man. Now, I don't have anything against what the trans people are. However, when it comes to that small community, and shout out to Minister Jap, he has done a nice program on Jeffrey Dahmer because, again, the trans people are part of the LGBTQ. I'm going to add the P on, and there's going to be a plus. Let's say the alphabet community. And the problem I've always had with the alphabet community is their whole agenda is basically disruption. And in my humble opinion, when it comes to equality, some of the individuals of the alphabet community are already in minority groups that are fighting for equality. So why should sexual orientation be something that individuals who are not hetero, but they want to be like hetero with their sexuality to become normalized? Now, I don't care about what people do in their bedroom, but what I do care about is what you are doing with the children. I saw a video the other day where a trans person was on stage and wanted a child to touch his groin. Now, the problem I have with a number of these trans individuals is, do they really love each other? Or are they strictly there for sex? Because a number of them, particularly the men, are very promiscuous. They are. Now, again, I'm not here to offend all trans people, but a number of you are woke and you're delusional, and you're basically changing the language, the pronouns. And in my humble opinion, there are always going to be two pronouns, male and female, nothing else. Now, me, I'm a biological man, and I will always be a biological man. Now, of course, also, you saw that interview with Fox Soul, where I believe Dr. Umar Johnson, he did not ask the trans woman, who was a man, a surgically altered man named Sam, any questions. He tried to be nice. The problem is, when you watch shows like Fox Soul, they have a problem with African American males. Now, I'm going to show you something, and this video has been out for a while. However, I want to show you something that I've always studied on YouTube, and that's called delusion. I'm going to show you a delusional trans man who's trying to bully, or a man who thinks she's a woman. She's got to be about 6'5", but she thinks she's a woman. And she thinks she can go into business and basically bully a business owner. But this business owner isn't afraid to push back. Now I'm going to share my screen, and I want you to watch this video because we have a lot of this going on right now, and everybody needs to pay attention to what's going on. Again, fair use. Fair use. This is fair use. Let's go. I'm just going to play the whole video. It's short. May even run it a couple of times. But I want you to see this argument between a business owner and a trans activist. It's a heated exchange. Let's watch.
Right now, as a trans women are women.
Well, I'm telling you, as a man, that's bull. It's total bull.
Okay.
You know what? Nobody confronts you. That's the problem.
Really?
If they'd say,
Really?
what the?
You want to bet?
What the is
You know
going?
what I have had
Do you
to
know
live
how many
with?
people you've embarrassed at City
wow.
Hall?
Me, an
They have
embarrassment
to-
to City
they
Hall?
have to
Really?
tolerate
You're
that?
City, sir. You are an embarrassment to this city.
I am a
And I'm
pillar
gonna
in
make
the
sure that
city.
everybody knows.
I'm a pillar in this. Now,
Oh,
you
yeah.
do that. Do you know why? Every time some bull like this happens, my sales go up because people are wanting this.
Really?
Really.
We're going to show them the side of you, and
You do it. You do it. You do it really good. Because guess
hopefully
what?
we can wake you up.
You are nuts.
Let's wake you up.
You
to the
are
truth,
nuts.
sir.
You're not a woman. You don't look like a woman. You don't act like a woman.
Really?
You're in the head.
Right now, as a trans women are women.
Well, I'm telling you, as a man, that's bull. It's total bull.
Okay.
You know what? Nobody confronts you. That's the problem.
Really?
If they'd say,
Really?
what the?
You want to bet?
What the is
You know
going?
what I have had
Do you
to
know
live
how many
with?
people you've embarrassed at City
wow.
Hall?
Me, an
They have
embarrassment
to-
to City
they
Hall?
have to
Really?
tolerate
You're
that?
City, sir. You are an embarrassment to this city.
I am a
And I'm
pillar
gonna
in
make
the
sure that
city.
everybody knows.
I'm a pillar in this. Now,
Oh,
you
yeah.
do that. Do you know why? Every time some bull like this happens, my sales go up because people are wanting this.
Really?
Really.
We're going to show them the side of you, and
You do it. You do it. You do it really good. Because guess
hopefully
what?
we can wake you up.
You are nuts.
Let's wake you.
It's total bull.
Okay.
You know what? Nobody confronts you. That's the problem.
Really?
If they'd say,
Really?
what the?
You want to bet?
What the is
You know
going?
what I have had
Do you
to
know
live
how many
with?
people you've embarrassed at City
wow.
Hall?
Well, what you just saw was a man, and let me tell you something. When you hear the word trans, some of these individuals, and I want you to hear me closely, because when it comes to real trans, a real transsexual is a pre-op or a post-op. The pre-op still has the penis. Now, what you're seeing out here are men who are dressing up like women. Now you have what we call the drag queen and the cross dressers. And see, what's happening is we're not even using the terms properly. This man came in there. Now, I don't know if this person was trans or not. I don't know if that person was wearing a wig, but nevertheless, I'm just going to state this. You have a lot of these activists, particularly from a small minority, who have a lot of power. And what they're trying to do is bully regular folks like me who don't believe in that lifestyle. They want to recruit your children into their lifestyle. They act like as if their lifestyle is normal. Now, to me, do what you want to do behind closed doors. But as I see it, there's too much of this wokeness, especially with the alphabet community. And the problem I have with the alphabet community is they never hold their own accountable. Again, Minister Japp showed it with Jeffrey Dahmer. They haven't even called or denounced Jeffrey Dahmer for killing 17 people back in 1991. But in my mind of minds, or heart of hearts, however you want to call it, he is part of their community. Now, it's funny when you confront them, the trans, or anybody in the alphabet community, they get triggered really easily. But they want to say what they believe they can say to somebody that is not in a belief of that alternative lifestyle. And the problem with some people in the alphabet community, and I just showed it right there, they have a lot of delusion. This person is calling herself a woman. So you're going to tell me because you put on women's clothes, you put on a wig, you're a woman? This person didn't even act like a woman. She wasn't even feminine like a woman. Look at the hands. Person was well over 6 feet tall. Didn't have any curves like a woman. That was all man. But the store owner confronted her and said, "You're not a woman." Again, I'm not knocking what people do, but don't recruit kids into your lifestyle because to me, sexual orientation is not the same as being a woman. It's not the same as being black. It's not the same as being Caucasian. It's all about sexuality with them. And you even have some that believe, like in California, they can interact with children. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to do a video later on to really piece it all together. How do some of these individuals become like this with the alternative lifestyle? Now, my answer is a number of them have been molested. And when you grow up in a house where you have dysfunctional family members and you become part of that dysfunction, you carry that dysfunction out to the real world. And then what happens is you take the innocence away from individuals who don't know anything about your lifestyle. You take it away because you believe that you can dominate them. And see, with the woke people, particularly of the alphabet community, they think they're your boss. So if there's a sign that says, oh, we don't serve trans or GAY people, they're going to become outraged. Now, again, you have to understand that a number of us still believe in two genders. The problem with this woke society today is they believe there are many genders. And I always tell you about deception. Deception is always a lie. Now, what you saw was, and I believe that man was on a city council. He said he was the pillar of the city. Well, to me, it's all about symbolism. You look at the Health and Human Secretary, that's a trans woman. Why did Joe Biden select that person? He selected that person not based on the qualifications, but for symbology. Why did he select that African American to replace Jen Psaki? For symbology, because she was African American and she was part of the alphabet community. This woman that you also saw was on, I believe she was on the city council, or it was on the city council, and that person may have won in a liberal district. I don't know. The problem that I'm seeing here is we're allowing these individuals to get away with everything from recruiting children, reading storybooks to children, going to class with fake breasts, teaching children. And you all know about the high school teacher, that's that I'm referring to, with the big saggy breasts, and they were fake, in shop class, trying to be a woman. First of all, there was nothing woman about that person. That was a man. Now, a number of these individuals out here, in my humble opinion, they're dazed and confused and they're delusional, and they think they can change everybody's mind. You're not going to change a person's mind because you want to live a certain lifestyle. And again, sexual orientation should not be up there with religion, race, age. I believe sexual orientation is a choice. Now, it's just like a man, he has a certain type of woman. He's not advertising that. Or a woman who loves a certain type of man. She's not advertising that. Now, if you look at the Black community, the alphabet community has definitely integrated themselves. Again, if you don't believe me, you look at the BET Awards, people like Billy Porter. You look at a number of these other men who are putting on a dress. And these individuals from the alphabet community believe it's okay. But what they don't understand is everybody's not like them. And when you call them out, they get triggered. And what do? They want to cancel you. They want to cancel you because they can't refute your argument. And that's the problem. Wokeness is dangerous. And what people really need to be is more attentive to what's going on out here. Now, real wokeness is calling out the bullshit for what it really is. Yeah, people are people. But we've gone too far with this alphabet community. They don't denounce their own. They believe that what they're doing is perfectly okay, and people who don't agree with them should accept it. But yet, again, when they're called out for what they do, there's a big issue with it. Now, I'm just going to say this. I've done videos on this. The woke culture, wokeness is a delusion. It's delusional. They don't see reality. And you see a lot more of this from the lefties in this country. A lot of deviant behavior. Now, again, I don't care what you are or who you are. Just don't bring your deviant behavior in the wrong places. And the wrong places, don't get kids involved. Now, if some of you have come from families that inappropriately touched you, you need to seek help. That's what therapy sessions are for. But a number of you, you don't seek that help. You try to recruit people into a lifestyle that many of us don't believe in. And the real minorities out here, like your blacks, the Chinese, you equate yourself to them. In fact, the alphabet community is trying to run off the backs of civil rights, just like the feminists did. And living in America, we can't give everybody special rights, especially when it comes to sexual orientation. Now, we've allowed same-sex marriage. Seems to be not enough. The alphabet community wants to tell everybody what to do. And they want to throw it in our faces that we are to accept what they do. But they don't denounce people in their community when they go wrong. Again, Jeffrey Dahmer. And if you don't believe me, go watch Minister Jap's video. And there have been movies out there about Jeffrey Dahmer with cannibalism, saying, I ate people's hearts so that person could be with me. Carrying a skull to work. That's a sick behavior. It's a psychotic behavior. And they don't want to include or denounce people like Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm talking about the alphabet community, because that's one of their own. And they don't want to denounce that person because that would basically kill their agenda. But in retrospect, you got to be accountable for your own. So, again, when it comes to this woke culture, I want to say this. The woke culture includes the alphabet community. And what I see from the alphabet community is nothing but delusion. And their delusion is dangerous. And at the end of the day, they should not have this much power for a small minority, because that small minority known as the alphabet community is made up of people who look like me, made up of women, made up of individuals who are fighting for rights. So why should they get special rights along with other minority rights? So they can get everything? That's wrong. The alphabet community in this woke culture is very dangerous. Now, I'm not saying everybody in the alphabet community is bad, but you individuals who are part of that community, you need to start denouncing that bad behavior, because it doesn't make you look good. I mean, as an African American or Black person, I denounce bad behavior from Blacks all the time. And some of them get triggered. Now, for you woke folks in the alphabet community, not many people are ever going to agree with your lifestyle. Doesn't make them a bigot either. It's funny when somebody calls you out, you want to call them a bigot. They're not bigots. What they are is expressing their beliefs. But since their beliefs don't coincide with your beliefs, you take it upon yourself to try to bully them. You want to get them canceled. And when you cancel somebody, that's a form of a coward. And the reason why you want to cancel somebody is because you're never going to be able to refute what they're saying. So it's a way for you to go and run and hide. And then you have an immature attitude about it. Now, again, what you saw was an individual who tried to come in and bully a business owner because the business owner wasn't afraid of that man who called himself a trans woman. Again, there was nothing feminine about that woman. He came in there because of his size and he thought he could buck this man. This man looked about 80 years old. He couldn't do it. This man stood his ground. And when you deal with a number of these woke people, whether they're in the alphabet community or not, you have to look for signs of delusional behavior. You have to look for signs of lies and deception. You have to look for emotional instability because I'm calling this behavior out based on what I see psychologically. That's why I'm doing this. Thank you, Tommy Jean, for sending me this video. It was well worth watching twice. That's why I do these videos. You see, the easiest way to really recognize a person is get inside their head. And I'm working on doing a video, what's inside the mind of a serial killer. I'm going to work on finding some information. If I can find an interview with somebody doing having a conversation with a serial killer, I like to see that because what makes them tick? Or when it comes to the alphabet community, what makes them so woke? What is going through their heads? Where do they come up with their rhetoric? And what makes the alphabet community in their minds better than anybody else? Are they not people? I mean, I could look at going back to a sauna in California owned by some Asians. You had a man who came in there naked, penis flapping in the wind, around women and around kids. And guess who showed up to attack the owners of the sauna? People like, I don't know if it was Black Lives Matter, Antifa. And see, the problem with a number of these individuals who are woke, and this is a fact, they end up eating each other. And here's why. Because in retrospect, they don't like each other. They have an agenda that is dangerous. And what they want to do is basically siphon people like me out who are hetero. They want to make heterosexual people abnormal. Now, will it happen? I doubt it. But when you deal with people who are woke, like the alphabet community, what you need to do is stand your ground like this old man did. Now I know the problem is if, let's say, if that trans woman put its hands on that man and then he hit her back, well, then she's going to say, I'm a woman. And here's where the trans women and the feminists are going to collide. And it's already happening. It's been happening because now they're letting the trans women into women's sports, and that's eliminating women. And that may even wipe out Title IX for women. And see, what the feminists didn't know, they wanted equality. They have all that misandry against men. And now, what men are doing, some of them, they'll just go and say they're a woman. And that wipes out the feminist agenda because I don't believe that the feminists and the trans women are on the same side. I don't believe that. I don't believe that because the trans women have their own agenda and the feminists have their own agenda. Both agendas are delusional agendas. But again, this is a product of wokeness that's going to eat their own. So all I'm going to say is, as a person who doesn't believe in this agenda, turn off the television. Because you're going to see more of this on television. I mean, I see commercials out there, and I'm changing issues, but this is about wokeness here. I've seen two men kissing on television. I've seen a lot of lesbian scenes. In fact, there was a movie out there called A League of Its Own. Now, Madonna started in the first one back in the early 90s. Tom Hanks was in it. Now, when A League of Its Own was remade, it had a lot of lesbian scenes. Now, I'm not saying there weren't any lesbians in the past, but they basically took the whole movie and put their agenda in that movie, the alphabet community. And something else happened. They even had lesbian women playing on baseball teams with men. That didn't happen in the past, and we know that didn't happen. But again, you have this agenda. You have this agenda where you have chicks, Queen Latifah, the equalizer, the roundhouse kicking chick, beating up men. This is that woke culture. And that woke culture is dangerous. Again, it's very delusional. And the reason why they're going for the children is because the children don't know any better. And when they don't know any better, they're easily influenced. You're seeing a lot of this woke culture in cartoons, a lot of integration of the alphabet community. But one thing is clear. There's still people out there who believe in traditionalism. So the question I have to ask you is, do you want to be woke and live a lie? Or do you want to be traditional and stick with the truth? The choice is yours. But in the meantime, if you have children, you need to take them out of the public school system, homeschool, because the woke culture is in the public school systems and it's also in the colleges and universities, because the education system is an indoctrination system for this woke culture. Because the education system doesn't care whether your kids learn, They want more SJWs, social justice warriors. And in the end, you have a backward society. And if you look at America right now, it's tumbling and tumbling really fast. So I'll say this for the last time. Stay woke, you will always go broke. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. Now, if you're looking for some more educational content, check out the QCIS channel. On that channel, I give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, if you cannot find the QCIS channel or the 401 Talk Zone radio show channel on YouTube, you check those channels out on Twitter. And I take it one step further when it comes to the QCIS channel, since it is a channel that deals with education, particularly STEM education. And also find that channel on LinkedIn. And at the end of the day, be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Now, for some of you woke people who are offended, I'm going to tell you this. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. Once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. You all have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.